Salvete omnes, and welcome in to another edition of Latin Review. In today's episode, I'll be reviewing Exerctium 11, which was last night's homework. Join me. Hello and welcome back. Now, I know that we reviewed part of this homework today in class, but as promised, I'm going to go through the whole thing for the benefit of those that might have had some difficulty on it. And I want to remind you all that you shouldn't be afraid of what's in the parentheses, because the parentheses is just a bit of a hint. So sometimes what's written in the parentheses could be really helpful. Other times it might be a little difficult to understand. So I just want to review what I reviewed in class and make sure you understand what the symbols are in the parentheses. Whenever you see an equals sign, like you see on number 1, this means that the blank space is a word that means whatever is here in the parentheses, or it's a synonym for it. So in this case, we have id quod milites faciant, that which soldiers do. And what do? They fight. So the answer to number 1 is milites pilis et gladiis pugnant. Soldiers fight with javelins and swords. Now, sometimes you'll see arrows like these pointing in opposite directions. And this means that whatever goes in the blank is not a synonym, but an antonym of the word, the opposite of, or a contrary of, whatever word you see in parentheses. So for number 3, what's the opposite of pedes, which is a foot soldier? An eques, a horse soldier, or a cavalry soldier. An eques est miles qui ex equo pugnat. A cavalry soldier is a soldier who fights out of the horse. Number 2, pueri non armis sed blank pugnant, sed pugnis pugnant. So you see here that the colon is also telling us something. It's telling us that it's the equivalent of manibus. So with their hands, with their fists, that's how boys fight. Not with arms, non armis sed pugnis. So we've gone through these 3 in class, but I wanted to go through them again just to reiterate what these symbols mean. And then also to emphasize that if you don't know what's in the parentheses, you can always just go look back in your text, and you should have a sentence that is almost verbatim the sentence here, or at least very close to it. If you can reread the passage that we reread together. And of course, if you don't know one of the words, you can look in your notes where you will have the English meaning of that word written down. Number 4, Aemilius non eques sed pedes est. He is a foot soldier, not a knight or horse soldier. Number 5, gladius qui a pedite fertur non est longus et, the opposite of light, gravis, sed brevis, the opposite of longus, et levis. You see how I used what was in the parentheses to tell me that these words are the opposite of what's in the parentheses? Gravis is the opposite of levis, brevis is the opposite of longus. Fertur is a synonym for portator. The sword which by the foot soldier is carried is not long and heavy, but short and light. Number 6, gladius brevis non gravis sed levis est, the opposite of gravis. Gladius brevis non gravis sed levis. Gladius brevis non gravis sed levis est. A short sword is not heavy, but levis, light. Number 7, pedes hastam longam et gravem blank non potest. Remember, this is a synonym for portare, so we should put fere, meaning to bear, to carry. A foot soldier is not able to bear a long spear, a long and heavy spear. Number 8, Graeci et Romani non sunt homines blank ut Germani. So, nec Romani, nec Graeci. This one might have confused some of you. We're looking for something which means neither Roman nor Greek. So the Romans called anyone that wasn't a Roman or a Greek barbarians, right? So barbari. Graeci et Romani are not barbarians. So the Greeks and the Romans are not barbari as the Germania. Ac Britanni, qui Germanium et Britannium incolunt. So here it's saying that they are not barbarians as the Germans and Britons are, and ac is just another synonym for atque. You might have also put et down there, but I think ac was the one that was given you in your blank, in your word bank. Who, they're not barbarians, who Germany and Britain incolunt, inhabit. We went over that word today. Provincia est blank imperii Romani. Many of you were tripped up because you couldn't remember what totus or omnis means. The opposite of totus and omnis would be apart. Totus and omnis means all or the whole. So a province, but you don't even need the parentheses to see that a province is pars imperii Romani. A province is a part of the Roman Empire. Now you might have also put perhaps membrum would also be acceptable, a member, or number 10, Danuvius flumen Germanium ab imperio Romano blank. And then in parentheses, we have that it means in partes facere, right? To split into parts, to make into parts. So dividit is what we're looking for, divides. The Danube River divides Germanium, Germany, from the Roman Empire, ab imperio Romano. Danuvius est blank, est imperii Romani, est finis. It is the border of the Roman Empire. Graecia est blank Graecorum. Graecia est patria Graecorum, meaning the fatherland of the Greeks. Greece is the fatherland of the Greeks. Romani blank Germanos pugnant, right? This is a preposition similar to ad. It means against. So contra, Romani contra Germanos pugnant. And that's from the text, from the reading. These are all ones you can find. You can either find these or ones that sentences very similar to them in the reading. For instance, what is the patria of the Romanorum? Roma. Roma est patria Romanorum. Germani enim blank Romanorum sunt. This is still 13. They are the opposite of friends. So they are hostes. Germani hostes Romanorum sunt. Et est blank inter Romanos et Germanos. So, ubi duo populi inter se pugnant, where two peoples fight among themselves. So this is bellum. There is war between the Romans and the Germans. Hostes exercitum Romanum, and then a synonym for timent. Metunt, right? They fear the Roman army. Qui exercitui imperat blank exercitus est. So who ducit exercitum? Qui exercitum ducit is who leads the army. If you remember from the chapter, it's dux. Dux est the leader of the army. And exercitus here is genitive. Number 16, Hispani qui in blank, and this is the same as in, it means multi milites. So, in blank Romano milites esse. So here we want to say in exercitu Romano, in the Roman army. This is singular, so this must be singular. So Hispani, who in the Roman army, milites esse, militant. So remember, to be a soldier or to serve as a soldier is the verb, the active verb for that. In English is to serve. In Latin, it's militare. So the Spanish who serve in the Roman army, non modo gladius et pila, sed etiam arcus sagittasque ferunt. Bene, and remember that arcus, again, this is a new declension we're learning. Arcus is accusative plural here, which is a little bit confusing. So they also fight with bow and arrows. They also carry, ferunt, bows and arrows, not only swords and javelins. Remember, non modo sed etiam means not only, but also. So we have that here. I hope that this has helped you in understanding the exercise. And please, if you have any questions, or if there's part of the chapter, part of the exercise that is still really confusing to you, do let me know. We're going to continue reviewing this vocabulary all this week. And I hope that by the end of it, you're all very confident in these new words that we've learned. Have a wonderful evening.